Welcome to Discovering. Tonight we'll take a look at some awesome UP bucks. We'll start out in Escanaba at Hilltop RV Superstore for the WYKX deer pull.
At 5, I seen this buck coming out there.
Then we'll head for Menominee County for the Belgiumtown Big Buck Night.
There are some real showstopper bucks here tonight.
And an update to last week's Tom Olsen story. Sit back, put your feet up and relax. It's Monday night and time for Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forest thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields. Call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill. The eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
We're out at the Hilltop RV Superstore for the 22nd annual deer pull. This is my first one because we're celebrating the life of Tim Kobasic, who certainly was the host of this for a very long time. It was last year when he fell ill and passed away a week later. So we got a cake because it's his birthday tonight. And we're also eating some hot dogs and hot chocolate. But the most important thing and the fun part is seeing all the deer come in, being weighed. They're sitting around in all the vehicles throughout the parking lot. Everybody talking about their hunting stories and just checking out the deer. And I don't know about you, but I don't see deer like that in the woods at all. Not very often, so it's great to see the success. And what's really fun is talking to the little kids who are hunting for the first time and finding success at it. So it's good to see them find fun and interest in the outdoors.
And it ran, and then we went back for lunch, and Grandma told me that I was gonna get a better buck, so we went.
So we were sitting in the morning and a spike horn walked in, and Grandpa told me I could take my shot if I wanted to, and I said I would. And we forgot to have a bullet loaded in the chamber because Grandpa went through like all the safeties and stuff on it. And then, so I went to shoot it and there was no bullet in it. So the deer ran, and then we went back to camp for lunch, and Grandma said that I would get a better deer this afternoon or tomorrow. So we went and sat in the afternoon, and we sat for about 2 hours, and then so like 3 does started to come in, and then they ate for about a half an hour, and then he came in and he didn't look at us for like 2 minutes, and then he popped his neck up, and Grandpa told me to shoot him there, and I hit his spine and he fell.
So I was on the floor of my blind reading my book by the heater, and my dad was like, there's a buck, stand up, stand up. So I stood up and I was like, and he was like, okay, aim. So I was aiming, and then I was really nervous. And so I shot, and then I got it, and it ran like 50 yards and then dropped. And then so we waited a little while, then we went and saw it. Yeah, it was really exciting.
I was sitting in my blind, and I didn't realize the deer walked right alongside of me and walked all the way to my bait pile. He didn't face me, so he went down and ate some food, put his head up and turned, and that's when he turned, and that's when I shot. Oh yeah, I've been hunting for a long time.
Well, I was sitting about 5 o'clock watching a little button buck I call Bumpy eating my corn. And all of a sudden he started staring into the swamp. So I put the binoculars up. I got a little window through the trees I could see. And all I saw was horns go by. I go, oh my God. So I got the gun up. He stepped out and I shot. Then he took off. I'm going, oh man, did I miss him? So I went down there, I'm looking for blood, couldn't find any blood. Started walking the trail that he ran off on. I heard something, I look, he's laying down, he's looking right at me. I go, oh boy. And he stood up, and I go, oh no. So then I plowed him again and he went down hard, so that was it. It was a good little hunt.
My first deer. So the second day of open season, let's just say that, we seen 2 bucks running out there. But they were out there for about a minute chasing this doe. I didn't get to shoot it. But then that was at about 12. And then at 5, I seen this buck coming out there. And he was about like this. He's pointing this way, and I was right here. But as soon as he pointed this way, I mean it was this way, and then he pointed this way, I shot him right in the heart, about something like that, yeah.
So it was about 8:50 in the morning on the 16th, and there was a buck. There was something beyond the bait pile. We didn't know what it was, so we were just paying attention to that. And all of a sudden, we see something to our right, and this guy walks out about 25 yards out, and he didn't look like he was going to stop. So we only have about an 8-foot shooting lane, 8 feet wide, and my dad gave it a good old-fashioned grunt call. Stopped right there, and I took the shot. He went about 100 yards.
My longtime hunting partner, Mitchell here, decided to go hunt with Papa yesterday afternoon. So I said, Mitch, you don't want to go hunting with Papa? He don't see no deer. I want to hunt with Papa, he says. So he went hunting with Papa yesterday afternoon, and Moss as well. Mitch, I'm going to go sit with Steve then. So Mom came and sat with me, and yesterday afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, out walked this guy, and the lane wasn't that wide. There's a clump of little trees there, and I seen something moving. Got the binocular. Oh, I said, Stace, it's a monster. I don't want to stare at it because I know you just get the adrenaline gets going, so I didn't stare at it. And then I could see it though out of the corner of my eye, and then I seen him step out, and I'm like, I'm not waiting until he turns broadside. It's time. So I took him right in the neck. End the story there. Yeah, it was shot in Menominee County, buck, close to the casino. It's 11-pointer with around a 21-inch spread, inside spread.
So the honor flight, we're going to be doing a donation here actually pretty shortly at 7:30. One of the things that my dad was true and dear to his heart was the honor flight, and he used to volunteer for it as often as he could, so we're going to give back.
And they've raised funds in honor of Tim Kobasic, and we've got the entire Kobasic family up here, over here in the corner, if you can see. And they're going to be giving a big check to UP Honor Flights. So a check for $750 to the Upper Peninsula Honor Flight on behalf of the Kobasic family in memory of Tim Kobasic.
Tim is the person who would give you the shirt off his back, and that's the way Tim was. And we really miss him. He was a huge supporter of the honor flight, and he would come every morning to help load wheelchairs on that plane. He was there every night to take the wheelchairs off the plane. And we miss him, and thank you so much for doing this for us.
We just wanted to say a big thank you to all of our sponsors, WYKX, WDBC, the Community Foundation, Sean Cannon Forestry, our major sponsor for the Tim Kobasic golf outing that we had back in August. And we raised some great funds. We were able, through the Community Foundation, to put together a memorial which would allow us to give out a couple of scholarships and some other donations. Looking forward to that in the future, and just want to say thank you to our community and everybody pitching in to make it possible.
I've been a sponsor here at the Big Buck Pull at Hilltop for a number of years, and most people know that it was a tragic loss of Tim Kobasic after the buck pull last year. So his daughter contacted me a couple weeks ago, interested in doing some sort of a prize for the youth hunters 16 and under. Doesn't matter the size, just a random drawing. She wanted to do a European mountain. Tim's done a lot for me over the years, and I appreciate it. So we're going to have a random drawing for kids 16 and under, and in the winter gets a free shoulder mount. So I felt it was a good way to honor Tim's memory and remember my friend. So
this is amazing. What a great turnout, and thank you to everybody for continuing to support this cause. What a great family event. We wouldn't be able to do this without everybody here, everybody that's contributed, everybody that's donated in any way, shape, or form. And to keep this going, thank you, Craig. Thank you, WYKX. This is a great turnout. What a great family event, and Craig deserves a round of applause. He's filled some pretty big shoes, and he's doing a great job. So thank you.
The shoes can't be filled, but thank you.
From Escanaba, I headed west, just north of Stephenson, for Big Buck Night at the Belgiumtown Bar, and to look at some Menominee County bucks.
Third year out here at Belgiumtown for the Big Buck Successful Hunter Night, and boy, we couldn't have asked for anything better. Beautiful weather, and what a turnout of deer. Must have been I haven't been out very much myself, but it's been, by all accounts I can see here, just a phenomenal hunt so far. There are some real showstopper bucks here tonight, far exceeded what we've had the last couple of years, so pretty exciting.
Got to my blind probably 5:45, and I didn't see many deer, and then at around 7:30 he walked out. We were chasing a doe and shot him at about 200 yards.
Lots of great bucks out here tonight. We are having prize drawings for anybody that comes out tonight, any deer that are registered, whether you shot a trophy buck of a lifetime or you're just filling your doe tag, young hunter, getting his first buck, anything like that. So any deer in has a chance to win some great prizes. We're still awarding a few of the big bucks here, and it's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see when this all shakes out. The other organizers are doing the measuring right now, and I'm curious to see. There's 6 or 8 real stud bucks here, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen when the numbers are finally in.
Well, at 8 o'clock I figured I was going to quit for the day because all the shooting next door, and all of a sudden a whole bunch of does come running down the hill where I was at, and they were woofing. And I heard crunching up there, and I figured it was one of my grandkids or my son that came to hunt with me, and he went trotting across the back, and when I seen his rack I said, my goodness, that's a big buck. And then I said, you better try shooting it, stupid. 20-inch spread, 11 points, and 182 pounds dressed. He was 246 with his guts in.
A lot of sponsors stepped up for us this year. All all unsolicited, by the way, which has been really great. Approached by some more people this year. Again, B&J Taxidermy, SMC Co-op here in Stephenson, DLT Trading, just a ton of great prizes here. The Menominee County Pheasant Club donated a 410 shotgun as a youth prize. Folks at Buck Boss donated some great packages here for us, deer supplement, blocks, feed, some food plot stuff, so that was really good. Both John DeGrand with Northwoods European Taxidermy and Todd CAROLYN both are donating European mounts to be awarded also here. Oh boy, Erica's Big House Daycare donated another youth prize package. T&K Installations donated a .22 rifle, so we just had a lot of great sponsors step up here.
I shot this buck second day around 7:30. I was hunting with my mom. She was making some soup and I was putting the windows back on our blind because they pop right out because I was getting cold. I'm kind of a pansy when it comes to the cold weather. So I was putting the windows back in and I was being really loud and I was banging around. There was no other deer, nowhere. And all of a sudden I looked to my left and I seen a deer and I was like, oh my God, Mom, there's a deer over there. And she's like, what, really? I can't see it, where is it? So I took my gun and I put it up and I was like, it's a big buck, Mom, it's a big buck. And she goes, I can't see it. And she's looking through the binoculars and she can't see nothing and I shot it. I was like, I'm not hesitating for this because this is gonna be the biggest buck I've ever shot, so I'm not even gonna wait a couple seconds. And there it was. I'm 18 years old, I think it's time I need to gut my own deer out, so Mom held the leg and I just started going at it.
Opening morning, 6:30, I was kicked back in my chair and I look off my left lane and I see him coming through the lane. I only saw the body and I'm like, oh, that is a big deer. So I got the gun out in the next lane and sure enough, he made his way through the woods and stepped out. And I'm like, holy man, is that thing big? And it's walking straight away from me. I gave him 2 steps and he slightly quartered to the right and I shot him and dropped him right in the lane, about 60 yards. 8-pointer, 18-inch spread, about 180 pounds.
Really trying to make this a family-friendly type of event, and good turnout here. We had a lot of kids out again this year and families coming out, which we really enjoy. You know, it's not just the fellas coming down, it's guys, wives bringing their kids, so pretty exciting stuff.
Last Monday night, we visited the camp of longtime hunter Tom Olsen. A day later, I got a report that he filled his tag, so I stopped in again for an update.
On opening day in the afternoon at 1:45, here comes a nice buck, and in back of it came another one. And the first one was a nice one, but the second one was a real trophy. Very high antlers, yellowish in color, nice buck. Well, I wanted to get that one, but he never came out, but the 8-pointer did, and most hunters would be very comfortable by shooting him, and I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to shoot him. But my son has got a bunch of lure, and it's called Pure Whitetail Peaches. Well, I went and made a scrape yesterday morning after hunting at 10:30, about 100 feet away from my blind. And there is never any scrapes in that country, never. So I went and made that scrape and shot 12, 15 drops of that peaches lure in there, and I stopped at my son's camp. I says, I just made a scrape over there. Like, that's 10:30 now. Well, whoever dreamed what's going to happen, because it's like a fairy tale. I made that scrape and I went back there. I was in my blind at 12 o'clock, Menominee time. And at 2:57, this guy walks out across a little trail right into that scrape. And there he is with his big head in there, and he's scraping with his front hoofs. And he was there for a bit, and then he backed up. That's when I put the binoculars down, because I couldn't see his head down below that little hill. There was a tree there where I had to scrape. But anyhow, he backed up, and then I had that carbine in my hands. And on them Winchester carbines, there's the first click is safety, the second click is fire. Well, he's starting to walk away, and when I had cocked it, he must have heard that second click, and he made a quarter turn and looked back at me, and I gave it to him right in back of the shoulder here. When I pulled the trigger, all I could see was hoofs and legs up in the air. Ass over tea kettles, he went. And I said, what the hell? And he just laid there a little bit, and he quivered, and he died a very, very quick death. This deer supposedly is 5.5 years old, and it's quite a story. I was on the program the other night. I want to thank Channel 6 and you, Brian, for putting that on. We've had calls from Florida, Chicago, Illinois, Wisconsin, all over the place, and they kept coming and coming. I never had so many just wonderful things that people say, and up here in this Yooper country with all the great hunters we have here in Menominee and Dickinson and all over, it's just a blessing to have that kind of support. I was asked if I thought about hunting, and I said, I think about it every year, and I was really serious about bringing that muzzle loader because I thought if I could get a nice buck with that, I'd close out the season. Well, I'll be back here next year. Like my dad says, I'll be out there if you got to bring me in a wheelchair. Well, I'm not in a wheelchair yet, and I don't expect to be.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next week right here on Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.
That's all for today's week. Goodbye.